Hello and welcome to another episode of Building More Than Just a Body. I'm Celeste Rainsturk and I'm here with Billy, and he is the creator of Impact, which is a personal defense system, and he provides his students with mindset and the physical ability to survive and escape a worst case scenario. So Billy, tell us a little bit more about you and your message and what you do.
I would love to. Celeste, thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor and a privilege to reconnect with you once again. To kind of go back into a little deeper root, martial arts has always been a powerful part of my life since I was about 4 years old. And, I moved around a lot as a child, and I've always been obsessed with the martial arts, and I've always made sure that it was a staple in my life. But about 15 years ago, I realized a disheartening truth that although martial arts is fantastic and it shares and it has so many benefits for so many people, truly helping people survive a worst case scenario is just something that most martial arts schools can't do, and they weren't doing. And I really dove into it, and because I'm such a passionate instructor, I always wanted to serve my students the best of my ability. And I was running a traditional martial arts school, and I kind of had this overwhelming feeling of, I'm serving them the best way I can. They're having a great time, and we're connecting. I'm making beautiful friendships. But God forbid they were ever really attacked. Could the martial arts style that I was teaching them really defend them and really help them save their life or save the lives of their family? And I had to answer that question. It was really hard. It was no. Sure, I had a basic combat system, but it wasn't anywhere near what I do now. So I'm a big believer in searching out answers. I'm a big believer in, when you have a desired outcome, finding the best people that can support you. And I found, although there's beautiful, many martial artists out there, I found that the military and the Israeli army were two really awesome sources for this kind of information that I wanted to provide for my students. And myself as a, motivational coach, I realized that, the mindset is also very, very powerful. So survival in my mindset is, it starts with the way you think. It starts with a decision. So before that, before you can learn punches and kicks and knees and elbows and how to take a gun away from someone, you have to decide in your mindset that you want to survive, that you need to survive. And when you have that whatever it takes mentality of survival, that is like what I call the launching system. But I believe that a lot of people want to survive. God forbid they're ever attacked. But where I didn't want to fall short for my students was giving them the wrong strategy. So I wanted to use strategies and implementation that will really help them, that they can use super, super fast. So I started learning and studying with the Israeli, one of my Israeli combative coaches, and I integrated that into my own form of teaching, and Impact was born. It was great.
That is so awesome. And I'm actually a martial artist myself. I do jiu-jitsu, and I also train in combat defense. And yeah, it's amazing. Actually, my dad required it in order to get my license, which is really funny.
I love that.
It was really good, and it turned into something way more than I ever thought it would be for me. Now it's like actual sport for me. But the thing is that I want to touch on that I could kind of bounce off what you said. It all starts with a mindset. And my sensei is Christopher De Palma, and he teaches us it all starts from the very moment, you get to decide if you're gonna be in that situation or not. If you walk into an elevator and you're the only one in there and some guy walks in, don't look down, don't look around, don't shy. Instead, look him in the eye and what's up? How you doing today?
Right.
It's one, you tell them you can identify them in a lineup. Two, you're telling them you're strong enough that you're not this weak little subject that they can pick on. And three, you're not a representation of them. You have courage, you have strength, and they don't.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yes. So now I want to ask you, how did you get into all of this? Because you mentioned it's been a huge part of your life and you spent so many years training it. So how did you get into it?
To be completely honest, I was so young. I was 4 years old when I first got enrolled, and I think I might have watched a movie or something like that and showed an interest, and my father took me down. I don't remember the reason why I got involved because I was so young, but one thing that I remember so vividly was as soon as I walked into my first martial arts school, I felt home. I knew it. I grabbed my father, and he tells the story today, and it's I was like, Daddy, I want to be him when I first met my instructor. And at that point, at that age, I didn't understand what a black belt was. I didn't understand what an instructor was, respect. It was like the entire experience kind of took a hold of me. You know, I loved the decor. I loved the way this guy just came over and his confidence, shaking my father's hand. And he got down on one knee and shook my hand and made eye contact. And personally, I feel like that was a big impact because most adults, you know, shake kids' hands, you know, facing down. And he went down to one knee, became eye level, and it was almost like a mutual respect, although I was only 4 years old. And we instantly got connected, and literally I have not stopped since then. Now I'm 34, so it's 30 plus years training, and it's been an absolute blast.
Wow, that is awesome. I love it. What a cool story too, because the fact that you can even remember that and recall that shows that that really has a big impact on the fact that it is your passion, that you've created your own style.
Absolutely.
No, I know that you're a father of 3 kids. You're married. You're living this awesome life. You're this crazy entrepreneur with tons of different businesses and things going on. So I want to know what you would tell a parent, because a lot of parents believe and they tell themselves this story. And while some parts of it I do believe are valid, I do think that there's always a way to make things happen. So I want to know from a parent's perspective, how would you encourage someone or explain to someone that they really can balance living a healthy lifestyle with having kids and having a business and going to work?
Absolutely. You know, it's something I take great pride in, you know, and I like to dispel myths, you know, if you will. And the truth of the matter is, and I know you operate with the same belief system, you know, we can accomplish anything we want in life. If something is very strong in our heart and if a desire is strong, we'll find a way. And, you know, myself right now, I own 4 businesses, and the next month I'm opening up a 5th, you know, training location. And yeah, I'm crazy busy. I'm all over the place. I really am, you know, and but my suggestion and what I invite people to do is say, if something means a lot to you, if you want to get in the best shape of your life, if you want to eat healthy, if you want to have more quality time with your loved ones, your wife, your boyfriend, your husband, your children, then you have to pre-frame that. You know, I'm a big believer. I plan my days out, and my days are awesome because I create them to be awesome. I don't allow the environment to dictate my day. I create my day, and I make sure that I have what I call a daily objective, and I make sure that my daily actions support my objective. And there's a lot of things that are very important to me, my wife being one of them, my children who I'm obsessed with, you know, and I'm a big believer that, and you use the perfect word, it's about balance. You know, a lot of times we go into business saying, wow, man, an entrepreneur's life is crazy. He's all over the place, travels all the time. You know, his marriage is most likely going to suffer. He'll never see his kids. And, or the other way, I want to be such a family man that I'm going to sacrifice, you know, financial freedom, and I'm going to sacrifice living my life's purpose. And I can say, you know, personally, there's nothing further from the truth. You know, I have a 3-step process that I work with very strongly. That's mindset, strategy, and an action plan. You know, it all starts with our mindset. You know, for me, I am obsessed with my kids. Obsessed. So seeing them, interacting with them, imparting in them every single day is a huge, huge part for me. But you know what? It's in my schedule. You know, it's not just business meetings and sales calls. It's in my schedule. It's in my framework. You know, wake up, play with Liam and Shay, who are my twin boys. You know, and I'll block out 30 minutes of undistracted, amazing time. You know, take my daughter to school, and then when I drive her to school, we're having amazing conversations. You know, my wife and I, my wife's name is Danielle, special Danielle time, right? And I put it in my day so I can make sure that I'm completely focused and undistracted and make that happen. As well as when I'm at work, when I'm with either a personal coaching client or with them in a business meeting, or I'm, you know, motivating my staff, I'm very what's called present focused. And I think that's very powerful for people because a lot of times we're very distracted. So when we live a life of distraction, it feels like we're busier than we really are. And I played that game a long time ago because I didn't have a mentor years ago when I first started my business. So I played the distracted, busy entrepreneur, and I wasn't seeing my kids. I wasn't, you know, my relationship with my wife is always amazing, but it just wasn't enough time with her and for her. And then my business was suffering and my quality of life was suffering. And then I just made a decision. I'm like, I don't want to just be busy. I want to be productive. I want to be productive in business so I can make more income and serve more people and leave a lasting impact. But I also want to be a productive father. I want to be a productive husband, you know, and leading by example is something that is very powerful for me and my spirit. So my legacy is everything, and I want to do the best I can to lead by that example and dispel those myths. So a lot of busy moms and busy dads that operate with that belief that they have no time to work out, they have no time to eat healthy. And like you said before beautifully, that's their story.
Exactly.
Right? So my job and what I love to do is give people the power to rewrite their story. Right? I can't write their story for them because that wouldn't be genuine. I want to give you the power and inspire you to look at your story, take the eraser out, maybe erase some words and impart some other words that will give you the life of a legacy, of fulfillment, and of abundance that we all deserve.
Yes, 100%. I could not agree more. And I think it's funny that you say that because I tell people who are parents this all the time. And of course, me not being a parent, they go back and they decide to make an excuse for their story that what do I know? But
right.
It's the same all around, whether or not you're a parent, it doesn't necessarily, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it doesn't, because if you think about it, we all have 24 hours in a day.
Yes.
So it's up to us to decide what we're going to do with it. And if you made the decision to have children, have a family, that's a decision you made, but it can go hand in hand with your decision to be an entrepreneur, to pursue the life of your dreams, to live in your passion. Like, you don't have to sacrifice anything if you decide to make the choice, like you were saying.
Yes.
I think it's huge to plan ahead, just like you said. And when we do that, we start realizing how much more time we actually have. And
right.
If you think about how often a lot of people will spend time complaining or talking about the things that they want and don't have, like, that's the time that they could be getting it done. And that's time that they could be spending with their kids, or time that they could be cooking a healthy meal or planning to live a healthier lifestyle. So I think that a big piece of it is diving deep into that mindset, figuring out the why, and then also figuring out why it's not being done yet. So what's holding you back? Because there's something else. Like you said, it's a story. It's not real. It's just something you're choosing to make up so that you don't actually pursue this.
That's right.
Yes. And so how do you encourage, because you said you live by example, so how do you encourage your own family to live a healthy and to be safe, of course, this kind of a lifestyle?
My best piece of advice for that, and I get that question a lot, I'm so blessed, it's include them, involve them. You know, kids are being told what to do all the time. They're being told to clean their room. They're being told to, eat their vegetables and eat healthy. And the biggest challenge that I find that parents don't do is they don't involve their kids. Like, I'm a big believer in creating experiences. So as one parent might take their child to the grocery store, what they usually do is just put their kid in the cart, right, or hold their hand, and the parents focus on picking out food. That kid wants to be involved. Your child wants to be a part of everything. So I let my children pick out vegetables, pick out fruit. What do you guys want to try? You want to try a new fruit today? And they usually pick out the coolest, craziest one, and I'll Google how to make it, but I'm also teaching them, guys, we're going to pick out some awesome organic grilled chicken. What does grilled chicken have? My 3-year-olds will tell you, protein, daddy. And what does protein do? It builds muscles, and we make it fun. And I think a big part of it, and I'm sure you agree with how many clients you have and the amazing work you're doing, it's much easier to teach and impart a value system, a belief system at a very young age that's positive than take an adult that has been living with a story, health food is tasteless. I don't like to work out. Things are boring. It's like, I want to inspire them so young. So this is their belief system. This is their story that, man, going food shopping is awesome. It's a lot of fun. And I make them, they're a part of, we do like a green smoothie every morning. Like, my sons are drinking kale smoothies, but they have a blast. They add the blueberries, they add the little, the protein powder, and they're adding the new bananas and the vegetables because they're involved. They're a part of it. So it's not just a daddy telling you to do it. They're part of the process, and they love that. Absolutely love it.
I love that too. That is such a great idea and such a great way to incorporate it. And I think, well, actually, I know kids especially learn from seeing. We develop that way from the earliest age. I mean, babies can't talk. They can't necessarily process language. So we naturally learn this language by seeing and constantly having it re-put in our life over and over again. And so to know, like, every day you're involving your kids in that, it says a lot, and it goes a long way, because you're right. there is too much telling kids what to do and telling them to do this. And I think that's why there's so many kids who are reluctant to actually listen because they're tired of it. You know how many people who actually like to do the opposite of things just because someone tells them to do it? Just like someone saying you can't do it. It's like those people are like, oh, let me show you. And then it goes the same way, the other way around. So it's like, if we can all think about sharing it on a level, that goes a long way. And you're right, like telling someone to clean the room is one thing, but having a clean room yourself is another thing, and showing like the fun in living a healthy lifestyle. Like you said, pick out this crazy looking fruit. Like, yeah, that sounds really fun, because if it tastes horrible, we can laugh about it. And if it tastes great, we have options. So it's so cool. I love that answer. And that inspires me too, for as I get older, like I'm always going to remember that. So thank you. And
my pleasure.
So I want to, yeah, it's so awesome. And I want to know, what's your favorite part about, actually, I kind of want to switch this around and add a little bit more. What's your favorite part about, one, being a trainer, two, of course, instructing on combat defense, three, being a father and a husband? Because it sounds like you have an awesome, awesome relationship with your wife. So I want you to just go deep into all of that.
Absolutely. My favorite part is honestly witnessing transformations. I own a few fitness facilities, and as a personal fitness coach as well, the physical transformation is awesome. Someone loses 20 pounds, that's great. But to me, that's science, right? That's amazing, and it's so beneficial. But it's the internal transformations that I have been for a long time very obsessed with. And even with the martial arts, it was the same thing that I was after. It wasn't someone punching more efficiently or getting their kick up higher. Those are all physical things that are awesome, but it was watching someone's eyes light up. It was watching someone walk differently, watching a young child that used to come in and his head was down and really not too assertive. All of a sudden, a month later, this kid's on top of the class, counting loud and proud. And I knew that, because of, my work, we're creating leaders in our community. And like, to me, that just fires me up more than I can put into words. And that was a beautiful transition with my other businesses, because I realized in the reality-based fight game, like I was sharing before, a fight is real. A fight is scary. A fight is undetermined, right? I don't train professional fighters. So what that means is I don't know when we're fighting. I don't know who we're fighting, what our opponent's skill sets are. When you're training for the real world, you have no idea who you're fighting. So you have to consistently, operate in a state of readiness and emotional and physical empowerment, that at any given time, things can pop off real fast. And that starts with, like we talked about before, your mindset, what I call the PNP, and that's prepared, not paranoid, right? Because I can definitely guarantee that I'll never get into a fight if I lock myself in my house and I never leave and I just order takein all the time, right? But that's not a way to live. So I wanted to share this kind of insight for my students, where go out there, be bold, live life, but be prepared, God forbid something goes down, and be ready to adapt to any situation. And I find that entrepreneurship is very similar. Entrepreneurship is about that. It's about being bold. It's about facing your fears. It's about, getting punched in the face, quote unquote, as a metaphor. Sometimes you're going to not get that sales call. Sometimes that client's going to leave you. Sometimes these things are going to happen. But we have to be ready to bob, move, slip, and duck, and keep on going. And, the reason why I got into mindset coaching was, as a reality-based coach, the first thing I tell my students is this: you got one objective, and that is to survive and escape. That's it. I don't know if it's going to require punches, knees, kicks, elbows, deploying a knife, running away, whatever the situation will call for. Those are details that we'll address as it happens. But right now, we've got to make that internal decision. I am going to survive and escape. I'm going home to see my family. Like you shared, yes, I've got an amazing relationship with my gorgeous wife. My 3 kids are my life. Like, I will do whatever it takes to survive. No one is taking me down, because I have to live for them. I have to see them again. And you can't tell me anything otherwise. But this might ruffle a few feathers. And this is where I had to come to a realization. If the strategy is off, no matter how motivated you are, you might not still survive. I use the term because, again, I have a gorgeous wife who's an amazing mother. A mother's love to a child is some of the strongest emotional connection in the world. And I think we would all agree, whoever's, all of your listeners, that if anybody ever tried to take a child from a mother, she would do whatever she could. She would fight, she would scream, she would tear, she would do whatever she could to save her child. The realism is, if she's lacking in the strategy, if she wasn't trained and taught, even if she's the most motivated mother in the world, if someone has more strategy than her, a Navy SEAL, God forbid, flips out and wants to take that child, she's not going to win. And the end result could be, her child being hurt or her being hurt. And that's not too fun to say, but the truth is we have to address this. We have to address the fact that if we align those three things that I live by, mindset, strategy, and then of course, action plan. And your action plan is you fulfilling the strategy that supports your mindset. And I believe that they work in unison. I believe that if you have a very awesome mindset, but you lack in the strategy and a decent action plan, you'll attain results, but not the ones that you deserve and not the ones that are going to make you feel aligned and fulfilled. So I want the best of the best because I deserve the best of the best, and so do you, and so do all your listeners, and so do my children, so does everybody in the world. So having an empowering mindset of your limitless power, investing in the best, most incredible strategy, and then requires the discipline. And the discipline is the daily action steps to achieve your goals, whether that be a simple fight or one of my business coaching clients that just wants to take their business to the next level. It comes down to this three-step process. The way you think, the strategies that are in place, and your discipline to do them consistently. And the results are yours. That's it.
Yes, exactly. I've learned very recently after hiring my mindset coach that I had the strategy, I had the action, I didn't have the mindset, and it's a huge deal. It's the number one building block of every single thing in your life. I mean, I kind of came to this realization at one point, like, if you could imagine a world without any mirrors, any reflections, no nothing, right? We'd all just be a bunch of walking minds and souls. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I could technically jump into someone else's body. I mean, this is not like a scientific thing. I'm just saying, like, if you put this in perspective, right, you could remove the physical aspect of a body, and you would just be who your brain is, and who your mind is, who your soul is. Like, what are your values? And that comes down to your mindset and deciding what that's going to be and what you're going to focus on daily. And of course, taking that daily action is what actually makes it happen from the strategy set, just like you said. And I think that is so, so powerful and so important, and something that a lot of people lack. I think we're in this society that's very go, 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 and not enough wait, let's look deep inside. What do I want? Well, not what do I want in 4 years, 5 years. What do I want today? And how is what I do today going to affect tomorrow, this month, next year, and then the year after that, and then 5 years in time? So I think there's just like so much go and not enough just like planning from your mind.
I could not agree more.
Yeah. No. And you're in a hustling, bustling city, aren't you?
Yeah, we're moving. I mean, I'm in the busiest part of Long Island, and like I shared before, it's about being productive, and like anything else, I know we're talking a lot about mindset, as we should, because it's the most powerful aspect of getting any new results in your life. But, I plan out my day, and I have what I call a DO, a desired outcome. And my desired outcome it involves a lot of moving parts, like already today, it's obviously this amazing interview was a huge part of my day. I was super stoked about it, but the truth is I was up at 6 o'clock and I did, a little bit of stretching and breathing before anybody woke up. I meditated for 20 minutes and, I have mental clarity for my day. I read for 30 minutes. Then my sons woke up and I made them breakfast and I enjoyed them. But that's all part of the day because, and it's not because I'm special. It's not because I have any other power than anybody else does. It's a choice. And I choose my power and I choose my day. And I've always had an internal feeling like I don't want to be told what to do. And that's not a problem with authority or anything like that. I know I have the power to create happiness, joy, fulfillment. So my day is no different. And what I invite people to do too is have a generalized framework to that, because you're still going to get a flat tire, right? Life's going to throw you that curveball, just like using a metaphor of a street fight, that punch is going to come to my face and I'm going to miss the block and I'm going to get hit. you know, and when life has that curveball action, it throws it at you, it's still a choice, you know, because like I shared before in reality-based fighting, my mindset is, no, I am going to survive. I'm going home no matter what. So yeah, you might have punched me, grabbed me, you might have choked me, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. You might even break my arm. None of those details influence my decision to survive and escape that fight. Same thing with business. You know, I made a decision a long time ago. I want to create businesses that serve people, that inspire people. And that's why I don't own a Taco Bell. That's why I don't own a clothing store. Not that there's anything wrong with those. For me, I want to inspire people's emotion. I want to get inside your spirit. I want to, you know, help you think a different way about who you are, your capabilities, and then, man, watch your life transform. You know, but it was always a choice. And I invite everybody to choose, you know, the creation route, you know, that you can create your day, you can create your outcome as long as you follow the 3 steps. What is your mindset? What strategies are you taking? And are you disciplined in your action plan?
Yes, yes. I just keep nodding my head because it's so true. And it sparks the thought in me that we are conditioned to believe that we must follow this path of, okay, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to go to school, and then I'm going to go to college, and then I'm probably going to end up having to get my master's now because everyone's going to college. And then after that, I'm going to have to get a 9-to-5 job that's going to create X amount of money so that I can support this and live in this house. And eventually I'll get married and have a family, and then I'll die.
That's right.
Like, great. Now that everybody's doing that, what are you going to do differently? Because seriously, it's not working. And
it's not working.
Yeah. And so if that doesn't excite you and inspire you, I mean, some people it does, and that's great. You're still doing what you love. Good for you. But for a lot of people, it's like they feel stuck and they feel in this rut, and then they want to get out, and they complain about their job, and their mindset isn't right, and their wellness is suffering, like their actual wellness and well-being is suffering because they don't have the occupational side of things, and it's not helping them or serving them. And so to make the choice to just change, and you can change at any time of your life, every day is a new day. It's up to you to make that decision, just like you said.
Right.
And you can really see those results happen, because it's not a matter of what society is doing or what society is suggesting or putting out there. It's like, what do you want? And I made a video for the listeners, whoever listens to this, whenever you listen to this, I made a video at one point about how it's funny how society idolizes these super successful people. But if you actually look at these super successful people, their story is off the beaten path. Their story is not, I grew up, I went to school, I went to university, I went to everything I mentioned. It's, I did my own thing. I pursued it. I did everything in my power to make sure that my action every single day was aligned with what I wanted. And I got it done. And it's as simple as that. I mean, yeah, it requires work, but it's your choice to make it hard work. It's your choice to decide if it's going to come easy to you. It's your choice to decide how difficult it's going to be. Like, you can make it happen like that if you choose to.
I could not agree more, you know, and I think a lot of times, you know, just to kind of add to that, you know, we have, as you know, your words have meaning, right? Our words are very powerful. The words we choose, the words we listen to stimulate an emotional response. And, you know, just to kind of go back to our past conversation, just like with my children and healthy eating, right? If my tone is like, listen, man, I know it's not that great, but just eat your broccoli. If that's the way that I give that to my children and serve that to them, their mind is like, oh man, the way daddy's talking stinks. I don't want to eat broccoli. There must be something bad. But when I get excited about broccoli, and I'm like, buddy, this is broccoli. This is going to make you the strongest guy in the world. This is so awesome. It shifts their response, and they are more accepting of broccoli. Same thing with, like, you know, books and reading. How many people actually enjoy reading? And, you know, I'm one of them. I know you're one of them, because leaders are readers, as we all know. But I choose to inspire my children for the same reason. I don't just give them a book. I get so fired up. So the 2 things I want to talk about with that is, when I give them a book, I just celebrate it. Like, oh my God, this story is so awesome. He's a superhero, man. Do you believe what, you know, Thomas the Tank did in this episode? That's crazy, right? But what's even more important than I think is, you know what my children always see? They see me eating healthy. My children always will see me doing push-ups in the house. My children always see me with a book, you know, and that's so, so powerful. My children also, I know, because we talked about my wife and I, a few minutes back, my children are consistently seeing affection, right? They are constantly seeing me holding my wife, not in public, we do that in public too, but we do it for our children. We do it because we love each other. While my wife may be cutting carrots, I'll go over there, I'll grab her and kiss her neck. And I want my children to see that. I want them to understand that affection and showing love and being authentic to who you are is one of the most powerful emotional traits you can do. They understand that mommy snuggles in with daddy for watching a movie. That's so powerful because not only are we telling them how to live a life because we are their parents, right? But we're showing them. We're showing this is about eating healthy. We're showing them how it can be fun. We're showing them how to live life abundantly. We're showing them that a relationship should be connective, talking, intimate. This is so, so powerful. So my daughter, I have, as you know, a daughter and 2 sons. My daughter goes, wow, this is how a man should treat a woman. This is beautiful. This is how I want to be treated. Look at all this love. My sons go, wow, look how respectful daddy is. I mean, they don't say those words, but they're showing me, they see me opening the car door for my wife. They see me speaking with respect. They see me just grabbing and showing love and affection. And even when my wife isn't there, oh man, you guys are so lucky. You have the most beautiful mommy in the world. Oh, you were so lucky. Do you guys thank mommy for making this amazing meal? It's so healthy, right? When we implement these and we take our time out and we share those stories with passion with our children, it anchors positive emotion in them. And they go, man, I do have the most amazing mommy in the world. That stuff is so powerful. And I don't think enough people do that. That's my opinion.
I agree. I totally agree because a lot of us, or not a lot of us, a lot of people come from a place of don't wind up like I did. It's like, okay, well then change, take action now and show me. Like, right. So I think it's really cool. Like you guys are actually living the life that you are preaching to your children. And not only that, but I think it goes the same way for any individuals out there, single people, just people looking to even just improve health and fitness. It's the same thing. You can relate that story and those actions, like you said, eating healthy, exercising. But the big thing too is you have to always come from this place of self-love, which goes into what you were saying about broccoli and proving things with passion.
Yes.
So you never look at it like, I have to eat this broccoli because I hate my body and it's the only healthy thing for me. Instead, it's, wow, I get to fuel my body with this amazing food that's full of vitamins and it's going to give my cells life and I'm going to feel great throughout the day. And wow, I just feel good about being healthy. I'm making these positive changes for myself and my quality of life, and it's going to better everybody around me. It's like, wow, what a difference one piece of broccoli can be, right? So you're totally right, and it's proven for any part of your life. You make that choice, So now I want to wrap this up by asking you to share one message that you believe the world needs to know right now.
Awesome. Yes, if I had one message to share with the world, it would be to relax, reflect, and connect to your inner power, and to have that conversation. I know this is a long message, but, to have that conversation with yourself and being clear in what you want out of life. And it doesn't just mean a bank account number. It's like, what lights you up? What gives you such fulfillment? What gives you such happiness? And learn to create that life. And a lot of times, even if you're clear in your vision, the lack of confidence in your own abilities will hinder you from even starting that path. And, I want to invite everybody to understand that, listen, life is yours, right? It is a blank canvas. You are the artist. You have limitless colors and you have an unforeseen skill set. You can literally paint the picture that you want. And that's not some, esoteric kind of wishy-washy spiritual kind of thing. It's not. It's like, a lot of times people they live in a state of consciousness that is scarcity. Like, yeah, this guy can make millions, but I can't. Or of course, they have a great relationship. What was his childhood like? Listen, my parents divorced. I was 5 years old. My mother had brutal relationships. I didn't have that positive example. I made a choice. Same concept. I was raised with poverty. There was a lot of times we had no money. Didn't know when our next meal was coming in. I made a choice. I decided not to live in that story anymore. And, you know, again, I'm certainly not this guru person. I'm just a person now pursuing my dream. I've connected with a vision that I'm aligned with, that I just feel excited about, and I love to help people. The feedback is there, and that's it, you know. And I'm going to be more successful, not because I have a great marketing strategy. It's not because my website is the best. It's not because my Facebook profile picture is awesome. It's because I demand success. Because just like if I got into a fight or I got attacked right now, I demand the result of survival and escape. And I see nothing else but survival and escape. The details it takes to get there is the strategy. I've invested in my strategies of fighting, just like in business. I search out, like you had a mindset coach, you said, that's amazing, right? Always search out the best strategy that supports your desired outcome and your goals, and be relentless in your tenacity, you know. But that doesn't always mean, you know, and I want to wrap it up with this, you know, I'm all about the hustle, right? You're not going to outwork me. I believe in that, right? I'm up early. I go to bed real late. As a health coach, I definitely don't get nearly as much sleep as I should, and like I teach my students, you know. But the truth of the matter is, it's not all hustle, right? Take time to reflect. I'll watch a movie by myself. I'm constantly reading, going for walks on the beach, even if it's for myself, because that's so vital. You are the tool. You are the nucleus, and that's so powerful. Accept your power, create your message, and share it with the world relentlessly.
Yes, I love it. What a great closing message. So I, of course, want people to be able to hear this message consistently. So I've included a link to your Facebook group in the description, but tell them where else they can find you.
Of course. So by all means, you know, Facebook is a social platform I'm on pretty often. You know, Billy Reuter is my personal profile. You're more than welcome to friend request me. I'll gladly accept anybody. And then again, I have a Facebook group like you're an amazing part of. I can't thank you enough. And it's my name, Billy Reuter, and Mindset Strategy Action Plan is the name of the group. And it's just, that's probably the best way. It's an amazing group of, you know, like-minded people that were collaborating ideas and tips and strategies. And, you know, it's not just about marketing, and it's not just about business. It's about lifestyle design and just waking up every single day, being grateful for who you are, and of course, strategies to improve your life in any areas that you feel needed. I have an email address, and again, I answer all my emails personally. You know, that's billy@learnapplysurvive.com. And I would love to reach out and connect with everyone.
Yes, awesome. So everybody, please show him some love and appreciation for the great value and tips he's given everybody today, including myself. And seriously, just don't hesitate to reach out to anybody who's on this show and really just show them your appreciation. And we would absolutely love it. So wherever you are, whatever time it is, just make it awesome. And we'll chat soon.